This task is from our Systems of Equations and Inequalities unit, and this lesson is for real-world problems. We are using a task by Dan Meyer called Counting Coins, which you can access on the link that I have provided above. You will want to click on that. I'm going to show it in this video, but you will want to use that. Now, the parts 1, 2, and 3 were just typed out by me for the groups to keep track of as they are progressing through this task. So the first part is that we need to show them Act 1 of Dan Meyer's Counting Coins. Now that we've watched that short clip, we want students to look at a few questions. We need them to answer, my best estimate of what kind of coins there are is, my best estimate for how many total coins there are is, and my best estimate for what the coins are worth is. We really only want to give them a minute or two to jot this down before we give them the next little bit of information. Now that they have made their estimates, we want them to have the next piece of the puzzle so that they can fine-tune those estimates. So with part 2, it says, I now know that the coins are worth blank. So we will give them this little bit of information. We will let the students know that we know the coins are worth $62. Now we want to give them a few minutes to come up with potential answers for how many quarters and pennies there were to add up to $62. After they're given a few minutes, we want them to share some of their ideas, and we want students to see that we have a bunch of different options for the answers right now. So we necessarily don't have the exact information we need, because which one is it? Whose potential answer is the right one? So we need to move to the next part to get more information. For part 3, we want them to get the last piece of information, which is the total number of coins. The students are given the piece of information that the total amount of coins is 1,400. Now we want them to think about, are there more quarters or pennies based on that total number of coins? So the class consensus, as we looked at the fact that it adds up to $62 and we have 1,400 coins, that we most likely have more pennies. So their ideas were, we wouldn't be close to needing that many quarters to reach $62. Next, we want them to look at, what could our answer be now that we know the total amount of coins and the amount the coins are worth? Write the two equations and solve the system. So they need to look at, we have the information to set up an equation knowing the total worth of the coins is $62. And we can set up another equation knowing the total amount of coins is 1,400. With those two equations, now we want them to go ahead and solve the system. So this is all being done in their random groups. So we want to give them time to go ahead and try to solve this system. And then once they do solve it, what is the solution and what does it actually mean? Once students have been given time to go ahead and try to solve the system, and they think they have figured out what our variables stand for and what that solution represents, we want to show them the last video that is in Dan Meyer's Counting Coins link. If you scroll down to Act 3, there is a short video which will reveal what the solution is for how many pennies and how many quarters were put into the coin machine.